A new book has been released that examines the challenges facing parents who are trying to raise mentally healthy kids in a modern world. Joining us right now today is Dr. Charles Fay, one of the top child psychologists in the nation and co-author of Raising Mentally Strong Kids, a book that reveals what's missing from most parenting books. Good morning, Dr. Fay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad that we could have you on the show to talk about this important topic. So first off, why is this book so critical currently right now in our world?
Kids are in historic trouble. We're seeing elevated rates of all sorts of mental issues, depression, anxiety, substance abuse, ADHD, etc., going down the line. New study from the CDC, 57% of teenage girls report being persistently sad. 24% report, sadly, that they've considered put together plans for suicide. So we need
Oh.
something different that combines neuroscience and practical psychology.
And Dr. Fay, do you think, the kids having anxiety, depression, feeling, suicidal, do you think that has something to do with how the state of our world is right now? And also, these kids having social media at the forefront?
Well, obviously, social media has a huge impact. And we know too
Yeah.
that when kids are on screens, it starts to deplete their dopamine supply, the feel good chemical. Every time they see something
Mm,
that exciting, they feel good, but pretty soon it wears out. It runs out. And
yeah.
then where does that leave you?
Now, Dr. Fay, why did you decide to blend brain science with one of the most effective parenting programs, Parenting with Love and Logic?
Well, because I came to know Dr. Daniel Amen, and I have to say he's a genius. He has done
Oh, yeah.
countless brain scans, and he really emphasized to me, it makes sense, that the brain is the command center. And if you don't have a healthy brain, you're not going to have a healthy life. But if you have a healthy
Right.
brain, the odds go up. You're going to have a healthy life. And so we wanted to combine that with what I've been teaching for decades. That's the love and logic approach. That's how to set limits, how to hold kids accountable, how to talk to kids in ways where you can have long term relationships with them.
Daniel is such a genius indeed. He's so amazing. I'm so glad that you guys could really, partner up to, bring us this book. And, what's one of the messages that you really want the parents to take from the book that you guys have put together?
Well, our brain health impacts our kids' brain health, and we really need to go first because kids tend to take the cues, the emotional cues from the adults around them. And so the book really does talk a
That's right.
lot about how we as adults can be healthier and happier, and then we can teach those same skills to our kids.
Now, Dr. Fay, can you give us an example of a powerful exercise from the book that we can all take away?
Oh, something that Daniel talks a lot about is starting every day and ending every day with our kids by finding at least three things that happened that were positive. I love that.
Hmm.
Positivity grows the brain in healthy
Yeah.
ways. We know that. Love and logic. Another exercise is, hey, when your kids have a problem, they run into a challenge. Maybe they're having struggle with a math problem. Resist the urge to be a helicopter parent. It's a bad idea. Sets kids up for failure later in life when we rescue too often. Instead,
Hmm.
empathize. Say, oh, buddy, that looks like a hard one. Those quadratic equations are difficult. What do you think you're going to do? And you give them just enough help, but not too much so that they can
Right.
see that they can own and solve their own problems. Very important.
Absolutely. Well, it's such an important conversation that we're having this morning to all the viewers watching. And, where can we get a copy of the book, Raising Mentally Strong Kids, for any parent watching our interview that wants to go out and pick up a copy?
You go anywhere where great books are sold. You can also learn more about Dr. Daniel Amen at amenclinics.com. You can learn more about my approach, Love and Logic, at loveandlogic.com.
Nice. We'll have both websites appearing below. Dr. Charles Fay, thank you so much for coming on iHollywood TV. You take care. You have a great day, and we appreciate your time for such an important conversation, important topic.
Oh, thank you.
How can we help kids be healthy and thrive even in serious, stressful times? Well, today we are joined by former California Surgeon General pediatrician and author Dr. Nadine Burke Harris to shed light on the effects of hard things that happen to kids like childhood trauma and adversity and provide science-backed strategies that can make a lifelong difference in their health. Dr. Harris, good morning. Welcome to iHollywood TV. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well. Thank you so much.
It is so nice to have you on the show this morning, Dr. Harris. So first off, what do we need to understand about how stress impacts kids?
Well, listen, now coming through the pandemic, right, we get a sense that our kids have experienced a major stressor. And one of the things is that when some of these stressors are severe or prolonged, as with adverse childhood experiences or ACEs, things like experiencing abuse or neglect, or growing up in a household where parents has experienced a mental health condition or substance dependence, or if there's parental separation or divorce, that this can actually get under our skin and change our biology. It can lead to a prolonged activation of the body's stress response, which is called the toxic stress response. And it can increase risk for things like asthma or diabetes or depression, or in the long term, it can increase risk for things like heart disease and cancer.
Now, Dr. Harris, what tips can you offer to help protect the kids from toxic stress?
Well, here's the good news, right? The good news is that this is something that we can interrupt. And the first way we know to do that is by understanding, learning, and asking what's going on with our kids. And the best way to prevent the development of the toxic stress response is with safe, stable, and nurturing relationships and environments.
Now, what else would you like people to know about this specific topic that we're talking about this morning on the show?
Well, one of the reasons why this is so important is that in December, the CDC just came out with a report that adverse childhood experiences cost the United States trillions of dollars each year in healthcare costs and lost productivity. And what that means is that there's, we got to be doing something about this, both for our kids, but also for our future, right? So our solutions need to be on the individual level, doing things like regular exercise, mindfulness, mental health interventions, things that help to regulate the stress response so we can prevent those long-term health and mental health outcomes. But also, we really need to get systemic about it. Like, we need to be doing early detection, early intervention, so that we can make sure that the kids who need it get access to the services that they need.
And real quick, Dr. Harris, tell us about your book that you have right beside you that's now available in bookstores.
Yes, that's right. You can learn more about ACEs and how to protect the health of our children with the deepest well, healing the long-term effects of childhood adversity.
Fantastic. Dr. Harris, thank you so much for coming on the show. You take care. You have a great day. And it was so nice to speak with you about this topic.
Thank you so much.